So the first thing we're going to do is a variation of rolling that works well from the head of the table in the neck. So we're going to be using that 5th metacarpal head again, this time with some lotion, so you'll get some practice with it. We actually want some glide in this situation. That's why we're doing lotion on the skin. And I'm going to do what we call pull bow shoot tiger. So I'm going to bring the knuckles in, my elbows are out, my hands are rounded like this, and I'm going to be applying that pressure with the same radial deviation, but I'm applying it across right at the top of the scapula. If they have a big enough neck that you can get down in onto the trap, you can, but I use this mostly right at levator scapula's insertion on top of the scapula here. You can do this with just one hand at a time on one side of the body, but I almost always do this little inward circle we call pull bow shoot tiger. Just alternating sides. And you can kind of position the knuckle wherever you need to. Get into a little bit of rhomboid minor, that kind of stuff. Just like that. It's not terrible? Good. If it's terrible,
yeah,
let me know.
Keep working on it.
It's a chocolate chip cookie, right? So that's pull bow shoot tiger. Another one that I commonly do here from the end is pushing away, or Tui technique. And I'm going to alternate hands. It's very similar, but instead of my circles coming this way, my circles are going to go out and down. So I'm going to think about starting right at the base of the neck, and I'm pushing down into the scapula. And I'm alternating back and forth. Just like that. So the thenar eminence is doing the bulk of the work here. So right at the base of the thumb there, pushing, following essentially levator scap and some of the upper trap fibers down into the top of the scapula. Gotta see that one again, apparently. Summer's complaining.
Dang it.
It's terrible.
Terrible.
Circling back and forth. Same idea as what we were doing with our alternating pushes on the paraspinals, just coming in and following levator scap down. And I actually do kind of like to run up over its insertion. It's very gummy, and you'll get a little click like that. You might be even able to see it when little fasciculations happen when you do that. So I like that thenar eminence to run right over that. A lot of times you'll get that little click fasciculation. Same when I was doing pull bow shoot tiger. I don't mind to run up over the edge of the bone there. You know, just be cognizant of how much pressure you're using and communicate with your patient. So, good deal. The next one that we're going to do is a combo of sort of pulling and grasping and squeezing all together. I do probably something not all that different from you guys, where I come across to the far side where the scalenes are, and I use both hands to reach in, curl my fingers up into the scalenes, and then I just like to use my body instead of my arms, and I'm sitting back and allowing those fingers to hold their shape so that I can strum across the scalenes, the upper trap fibers, levator, and all the way back into the rhomboids. Just like that. Let me know if it's too much pressure, Summer. After I've done that, I generally will come to the other side of the table and continue working that trap. But for sake of you guys being able to see it, I'm going to do it to this side. I'll come in and do a little light grasping first, just to kind of warm it up. And then I'm going to do that same idea that we were doing with both hands seated, where I'm going to be squeezing and then tractioning in the direction of the fibers. But I like to cheat, and instead of my thumb making that pressure, I'm pushing with my other fingers. So I'm in position, I apply pressure between all of my fingers of both hands, and then I sit back and I traction towards the spine, or towards the acromion rather. Because of the lotion on the skin, this one, once you have that pull in the muscle, you can actually then glide along the fibers, or with the fibers, and track out along, just like that. Again, you'll get that little click as you roll over levator's tendon and insertion spot. Free little trigger point work for most people. Is that okay? After I've done some of that sort of heavier pressure with the squeezing, I come in and make nice a little bit. You know, don't want to leave people with the last thing you do is a super heavy pressure squeeze kind of technique.